We got a Week 16 matchup with the Arizona Rattlers hosting the Massachusetts Pirates in a 2021 United Bowl rematch, where the Arizona Rattlers look to stay undefeated since losing at home in the United Bowl back in 2021. Let's go ahead and just jump right into this one. So, the Arizona Rattlers, they win the coin toss, they elect to defer, and Massachusetts, they get the ball first. After about a 6-minute opening drive, the Massachusetts Pirates are on the board first, but the Rattlers blocked that kick. It is 6-0 Massachusetts, and I did want to note that the Pirates were actually right around the 2-yard line before an offensive penalty threw them back, but they still managed to score. Then with a little under 6 minutes to go in the first quarter, the Arizona Rattlers turn the ball over on downs. Solid defense by Massachusetts early. The Pirates get the ball back. Then with about 2 minutes, 25 seconds to go in the first quarter, the Arizona Rattlers, they block a field goal attempt by the Massachusetts Pirates, but then Devontae Merriweather on the return fumbles the ball, Massachusetts keeps possession, and that turns a really good defensive effort to block that field goal into a sloppy effort, kind of matching that first defensive drive. However, basically on the very next play, Connor Taylor picks the ball off after the pass is deflected, and with a minute 32 seconds to go in the first quarter, the Rattlers regain possession of the ball, and that was the moment right there. The Arizona Rattlers started to kind of build off of that momentum and really started to show that resiliency because that first offensive possession was sloppy. The first defensive effort was sloppy. Fumbling the ball as soon as you recovered it from a blocked kick was sloppy. But like I said, Connor Taylor, a really good defensive play, and the Rattlers get the ball back. After the first quarter, the score was 6-0 Massachusetts. The second quarter will begin with a 21-yard bomb of a pass from Drew Powell to Jamal Miles. That's a first down. And then Morian Walker Jr., a 2-yard rushing touchdown. 7-6 Rattlers with 11:39 to go. Massachusetts then returns the kickoff for a touchdown, but the 2-point conversion fails, so the Arizona Rattlers are only down 12-7. Then there is a ridiculous pass from Drew Powell to Jamal Miles in the back of the end zone. That's good for a touchdown. The point after is good. The Arizona Rattlers go up by a score of 14-12 with 8 minutes and 31 seconds to go in the second quarter. The Arizona Rattlers then go for an onside kick and they recover it. Rattlers ball. I just wanted to take a second to note a good effort by Isaiah Scott. So on this drive, he catches a pass. He is short of the first down and just scurries across the line. Good effort. Drew Powell then rushes to get a first down right around the 2-yard line, and then Massachusetts, they take an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, 1st and goal. Drew Powell rushes them for a touchdown. Point after is good. 21-12 Rattlers with about 2 minutes to go in the half. Dylan Winfrey then picks off a pass essentially in the end zone with a minute to go in the half. Rattlers get the ball back, then Drew Powell finds Isaiah Scott for a 20-yard touchdown. Rattlers get the ball back, then Drew Powell finds Isaiah Scott for a 20-yard touchdown, with Scott doing his best DeAndre Hopkins impersonation by having 2 defenders on him, still coming down with that football. Point after is good. 28-12 Rattlers with 17 seconds to go in the first half. Massachusetts would then score a field goal, 28-15 at halftime. Starting off the second half, Drew Powell finds Jamal Miles once more. Point after is good. 35-15 Arizona. Massachusetts then scores a touchdown at the 10-minute mark, but it is called back for an offensive penalty. They found the end zone anyway. They went for the 2-point conversion. Was no good. 35-21 Arizona, and they get the ball back. Then Shane McCanery, a long field goal. This is on their own 18-yard line. Sinks that one after a kind of sloppy offensive possession. 38-21 Arizona, and it just keeps going. The score would be 38-21 in favor of the Rattlers at the end of the third quarter. I then had to head home so I can start working on some Coyotes content. So I'm just going to go ahead and read off what happens in the fourth quarter. About a minute, 10 seconds in, Massachusetts scores 38-29. Then Morian Walker, a 3-yard rushing touchdown. 45-29 at the 11-13 mark. The Massachusetts scores again, 45-35. Then Isaiah Houston, a 13-yard touchdown with a minute 45 to go. It's 52-35. Then with 32 seconds to go, Massachusetts another touchdown, 52-43 is your final. And then there was some sort of altercation between the fans and players. It was a whole thing. The IFL did an investigation. They ended up suspending multiple players. That entire thing needs its own entire breakdown, but essentially there was a conflict. Kevin Guy would talk a little bit about it in his post-game press conference where he said, to paraphrase, Rattler Nation got to him. I mean, that's one way to describe it. Like I said, that really deserves to have its own dedicated discussion. I have not seen the play as of this recording, but I will try to make a point to make sure that the statement from the IFL commissioner is in the description. Individual stats: Drew Powell, 19 for 24, 208 yards, 4 touchdowns. MV Powell doing MV Powell things. Oh, and add in 33 rushing yards and a rushing touchdown. Morian Walker Jr., despite only having 7 rushing yards, had 2 rushing touchdowns. That's not bad. bad. Receiving, Jamal Miles, 8 receptions, 103 yards, 2 receiving touchdowns, about 13 rushing yards. Isaiah Scott, 4 receptions, 54 yards and a touchdown. Isaiah Houston, 3 catches, 35 yards and a touchdown, meaning yes, he averaged more than 10 yards per catch. And Morgan Walker Jr. would add another 4 receptions for 16 yards. On the defensive end of the ball, Chris Terrell would record the only tackles for loss for the Arizona Rattlers defense, and Dylan Winfrey and Connor Taylor each would pick off a pass. What is that, 7 in a row? The Arizona Rattlers are now 10-4. There is one more game, but 2 more weeks before the playoffs start. The Arizona Rattlers will have their final bye week coming up. Then they will take on the Northern Arizona Wranglers in the final game on July 15th. Should be a good game. I mean, this was a really good game. The Massachusetts Pirates are one of the best teams in the league, and the Arizona Rattlers managed to stay with them despite that rough start. But yeah, that's all I got for you. Rattlers win by a final score of 52-43. Massachusetts will head up north to take on the Wranglers this weekend.